Today's announcement is all about making sure that we continue to supply the products our customers need into the future. The steel industry is decarbonising and we need to ensure that Australian iron ore is really well positioned for that green steel future.
Some of the work you've already done with BlueScope has looked at hydrogen as a fuel source. Is that still in the mix as a source of power for an electric smelting furnace?
So hydrogen is in the mix. Pilbara ores need some technology change to be able to be used efficiently and effectively in green steel applications, and so the announcement around the smelter, around the melter as it's sometimes called, is really about ensuring that Pilbara ores can be used in green steel, and that opens up avenues like hydrogen to also be used in that process.
BHP has also been trying to find ways to cut emissions. Your competitors, so why are you coming together now?
We know that we can't solve this alone, and so today you see the two largest iron ore producers in Australia joining together to roll up our sleeves and really focus on solving the challenge together with BlueScope, who has been our partner for some time.
A fully functioning electric smelter is still years away, if at all. How will this get you to your net zero emissions target by 2050?
So we expect the study will take around about a year. Obviously, as part of that study, we'll look at what that next phase is, which could be, and we're hopeful will be, a pilot plant here in Australia. That the construction period will be around about 2 years. All of that sits in context of a steel industry that's decarbonising. This pilot plant, we think, offers real potential to ensure Pilbara ores are well positioned going into the future for the decades to come, and that's all going to be work as part of the study. We're decarbonising our own business and working on solutions like this that will help accelerate the decarbonisation of the steel industry.
It is critical for you to come up with a solution because so much of your emissions are from Scope 3, which is, of course, your customers.
Yeah, and we're working with customers such as BlueScope here in Australia and our customers right across the world, progressing technologies to accelerate the decarbonisation of the steel industry. And to put that in context, the steel industry produces around about 8% of the world's CO2 emissions. And so we can play a major role in helping to reduce those emissions.
You're in Port Kembla in New South Wales for the announcement. It's a very long way from the Pilbara in Western Australia where the iron ore is mined. So wouldn't shipping hundreds of millions of tonnes of iron ore every year across the country to BlueScope Steelworks kind of defeat the purpose of a decarbonisation project?
The emissions on transport are a relatively small portion, and in fact we're doing a range of work to reduce emissions in shipping transport as well. The location for the next phase will be a matter for the study. Obviously we'll look at aspects like access to infrastructure, utilities, proximity to iron ore, proximity to steelmaking. They're all matters that the study will assess.
Simon, could this ultimately be the first step to a time when Australia stops being a dig and ship nation and instead turns all of the iron ore mined here into green steel that's then exported?
I think decarbonisation of all industries is reshaping how those industries are put together, and I think it's absolutely true in the steel industry as well, where decarbonisation of the steel industry will mean a reshaping of that, of where iron making's done, of where steel making is also done, and that offers up some opportunities for us as Australia. That offers up some opportunities for us as a business, and so I think you will see some of those centres change over time as that decarbonisation and some of the effects of that decarbonisation continues.
How big is the threat to Australia's economy if Rio Tinto, BHP, BlueScope, other players in the mix are unable to find a way to decarbonise?
Australian iron ores are the backbone of the economy. It's Australia's largest export earner, 130 billion export dollars last year, and so we need to make sure that industry is really well positioned for the future. So today's announcement, it's great for our business, it's good for Australia, and it's good for the future of our industry.
Simon Trott, thanks for speaking to Close of Business.
Thanks for having me, Rachel.